Good morning, friends. My name is Ben Greer. I am a commercial real estate broker. Welcome to the State of the City event. This is the way that the Chamber is able to put in front of our Chamber members and interested city members what is going on in the city, what development projects are in front of us, what activity is going on in the city to make it better going forward. The Economic Development Committee of the Chamber has been involved with the community for really about the past 12 or 15 years. We got started as a committee when there was a controversial development project in front of the City Council. And the Chamber members were requesting the Chamber to take a position on that, which we did. And we followed that through the new Uptown Specific Plan, and we've been active on really all major pieces of development that have affected the city going forward. So if there's something involved with the city, with development that you need some activity on, that you want to have a voice to move forward with the City Council, the Economic Development Committee, and the Chamber itself is a great avenue for such events.
Good morning. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the Chamber's partnership with the city and to thank the council and staff for their participation in today's event. A successful community depends on thriving economy, and in today's economic environment, a thoughtful and comprehensive economic development and strategy can play a major role in how that success plays out. The Chamber is proud to be part of that process. The State of the City event is just one of the many ways the Whittier Chamber supports the development process in Whittier. We are fortunate to have a great relationship with our city's elected officials and staff, and to be able to offer our members access to them. Many of you know the value of belonging to the Chamber of Commerce, both in terms of helping you build a better business and helping you contribute to the economic vitality of our region by being a community builder. To date, we have over 600 members, and we represent well over 5,500 employers. Our Chamber's primary purpose remains supporting the prosperity of our members and enhancing the business climate and the quality of life in Whittier. We are platforms for business to provide leadership, education, and advocacy to our community. We are the catalyst for the business growth. We are the convener for leaders and influencers, and the champion for stronger communication. The Chamber continues to work with the city to attract new development by promoting Whittier as a great place to do business. As we look to the future, the Whittier Chamber will continue to effectively support our members through referrals, expert advice, workshops, and seminars, activities to build your network of peers, and mentors and community events. The Chamber will also advocate aggressively on behalf of business interests and our economy. It is worth repeating that the Chamber has a sum of all 600 of our members, and that strength makes your Chamber the single most powerful voice for the business community. No other group can advocate for our enterprise in this area like the Whittier Chamber of Commerce. It is a great time to be in Whittier right now, and the Chamber is excited and optimistic about the many development opportunities going on. Again, on behalf of our Board of Directors, we thank you for coming today, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Mayor, Joe Vinatieri.
Good morning, everyone. So, it's just a pleasure to be here, and it's been a little over, a year since the people of Whittier elected council members by district, Kathy Warner, Josue Alvarado, as well as a new mayor at large. And I want to let you know, I'm honored. Well, good morning, everyone. So I'm honored to be the first elected mayor in the history of Whittier, and I'm going to tell you, it is a privilege. It truly is a privilege. But we also need to remember something, that the council works together for the best interests of the whole community. Even though we have districts, it's for the whole community. And much of what you're going to hear about today could not have happened without your council and the staff of the city of Whittier working together as a team. So I just want to make sure that we all understand that things don't happen unless we work together. And I know you hear that, it sounds like a cliche, but it really is true. So this morning you're going to hear from Jeff Collier about many of the current good things that are happening and some of the future events on the horizon. And you're going to hear a couple surprises too this morning, Jeff, all right? So you're going to hear that. But we also want to talk to you a little bit about some of the challenges, how we're working to meet those challenges, and how we need you to be part of this team. And I say you as part of this team because it seems like the dialogue today is us against them, all the way from the top on down. And I'm going off script here, but one of the great things about Whittier has always kind of worked together. In fact, I know that people in Whittier, they expect us on the council to disagree, but to be agreeable in our disagreement. And that's a really important thing. That makes us different from the national thing and what we saw happen yesterday morning. So I want us to think about that in how we work together collaboratively and how we encourage each other. I want you to know that I'm really appreciative, very appreciative of the people of Whittier and you. I've had several people come up to me, including some of you here this morning, and they've asked me, so Joe, how are you doing? So how are you really doing? And I'm going to be really candid with you. The last several months have been very challenging, and they've been very stressful. The murder of our officer, Keith Boyer, the wounding of our officer, Patrick Hazel, has been very tough on the police department. It's been tough on the city family. It's been tough on the people in this community. No one teaches you at mayor, city council, school, class 101 how to deal with such a tragedy. They don't teach you. You kind of just do it. I once again want to thank the Chamber for being such an important part of the community and stepping up with this. This is very important. Even now, as things are winding down, we always want to remember. You have the buttons, and I encourage you to remember what this is all about. And I don't need to tell you that in Whittier, for the first time in years, we're experiencing an increase in crime, primarily property crimes. And this started right after Proposition 47 was voted in by the people of the state of California 3 years ago. And I don't need to tell you that your council's number one priority is your safety, the safety of our people. That's numero uno. Now, Jeff's going to give you some further information about this, but it's essentially what we're trying to do as a council is essentially threefold. Number one, we want to make sure that the police department has more resources in their fight to keep us safe. And that's going to mean more police officers, some new equipment, and some other things that Jeff's going to tell you about. So the police department. Secondly, we want you, and that's what we're doing as a council, to support state legislation to go against this uptick in crime, because much of what's going on is a statewide issue. It is a statewide issue. We're being very proactive here at the City of Whittier. I've been on since 2006. We have never been proactive like this, at least as I've been on the council, about trying to do something about this. And what we're doing is we are basically following, we're pushing, we're helping on Ian Calderon's bill AB 1408, which I'm going to be candid with you from my standpoint, if it had been in effect, it might very well have saved Keith Boyer's life. It very well might have. It's that important, and we say thank you to Ian and Tony for being part of that. I'm pleased to say that the California League of Cities, which is the body that handles all the cities up and down the state of California, yesterday sent out an advisory to all the cities in California requesting them to support AB 1408. And at the back of there's a table in the back there. There is a handout that they sent out to all the cities in California that succinctly explains the problems of prison release under AB 109. It's in the back there. and have a look at it, because it's boom, boom, boom. And it really takes a very complicated issue and makes it really very simple. I might add, in addition, we have sent out over 50 letters to mayors up and down the state of California asking their city councils to adopt the 2 anti-crime resolutions that your city council has adopted. I will tell you, I was in Sacramento last week, and from what I can see, Whittier is now a statewide leader in this movement to make reforms to AB 109. I said there were 3 items, so the third part of our public safety triad is you. It's you. And I know people maybe by getting tired of hearing me saying this, but we need more eyes and ears on the street, and that's where you come in. The Chamber, thankfully, has put together a Business Watch program that you need to be part of as a business. As a city, we're beefing up our residential Neighborhood Watch program, which is growing, and if you're not a member of Neighborhood Watch, you need to get involved. And I'm going to be candid with you. I get emails, I get phone calls, I get conversations all the time with people who are fed up with the crime increase. I'm fed up with it. But I will ask them, especially when they're being really critical, I'll ask them, are you a member of Neighborhood Watch? And most of them say no. And I so badly want to tell them, and because I'm going to be nice, I don't say it, but I'll tell you all. Well, don't complain to me about the problem unless you want to be part of the solution. And that is the solution. There's one Neighborhood Watch group back here. They've gotten to know their neighbors in their neighborhood they hadn't known for a bunch of years, and they're now a bunch of friends, and they're watching what's going on in their neighborhood, and they're calling into the police. And that's a model for the rest of this community. So we have the greatest police officers, the greatest training. They have wonderful restraint. They're very smart, but they can't do their jobs fully unless we're helping them by providing the extra eyes and ears on the street that they need. So, on the back, on the table, where Carol is back there, there's a sign-up sheet for Business Watch. If you're not a member, there's a sign-up sheet for Neighborhood Watch. If you're not a member, and we want to push this because this is something that we as individuals can do. We can talk about the state, we can talk about everything else, but we need to be hands-on. And I know you're tired of hearing me say this, but it's so, so true. If you see something, don't be afraid to say something. Call it in. The police are expecting you to do that. And there have been a number of criminals caught as a result of people being extra vigilant and calling it in. Okay, I'm off of that. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit on my soapbox, as you can say, but it is kind of the state of the city. So, the other challenge that I want to briefly touch on is the issue of homelessness. So Jeff's going to talk about that also, but I wanted to give you a little bit of my perspective. Homelessness is up in Whittier. It's up all over Southern California. I think we all intuitively know that. We have stats from the homeless count last January that show that. Our homeless population, as most of you know, is made up of various segments, such as women and children who are displaced, individuals who are mentally ill, individuals who are alcohol, drug abused, young adults who are newly out of juvenile shelters, for example, our vets. There's a good number of vets. The population of those who are formerly in prison or in jail who don't have housing and who are on the street. So as a community, we could do something about some of these issues, but some of these populations, candidly, a city is not equipped to deal with it. It's a big, much larger regional, even state issue. But I'm pleased to tell you that in LA County, Whittier is considered to be a leader relative to working on solutions for at least some of these populations. And I can't say enough about First Day. I can't say enough about Hold Child. I can't say enough about the Salvation Army. Can't say enough about the Whittier Consortium, each of which are working on different aspects of that population. There are not other cities in Southern California, there's only a handful that have this kind of volunteer base that are doing this in the homeless population. And some of you today, and you know who you are very, very involved, and I say thank you for what you're doing. One of the largest segments, of course, is the women and children who are displaced and they're living in their cars. They don't have permanent housing. We have just implemented a model program, and I tell you model because it's being watched by others, where we have the collaboration between the Salvation Army, between the Whole Child, and a new initiative called Imagine Whittier. And Imagine Whittier is going to be all about taking the women and children and fathers and children who are in the program, and once they're out of the Whole Child program, which could be about a year, that during that period of time they are meeting mentors here in Whittier from churches, from organizations such as the Chamber of Commerce, who are trained to help them so that when they're out of the formal program, they do not fall back into poverty. It's being done in one place in downtown LA, and we're going to try it here in Whittier, called Imagine Whittier, so keep your eyes and ears open. Now, I touched on the homeless who are mentally ill, and most of you are aware of our mental evaluation team, the MET team, that we have at the Whittier PD. Jeff's also going to give you some stats, how the MET team, which is made up of one Whittier PD officer and one county mental health worker, how they've been working together now over 6 months. So statistics are important, but the impact on real lives is what this is really all about. And so I asked for a vignette or two, and let me just read you something here. This is a very short report. I don't have time to read the whole thing, but this was given to me by one of the MET team members. Whittier MET has been heavily involved with a client that has recently returned to our city and almost immediately began causing problems stemming from her disorder. The subject was being forcibly hospitalized on a weekly basis for nearly 2 months. These hospitalizations were in addition to numerous calls for service and further Whittier PD officer contacts. This client was able to be enrolled in the LA County Department of Mental Health Advanced Outpatient Treatment Program, called the AOT program, by our MET team member, Jerry. This is an intensive outpatient treatment, and the admission process can be difficult and laborious. But MET, because we have a MET team, was able to get the client through the process in an expedited fashion due to the severity of the client's condition. Get this, since being enrolled in the program, the client's need for police service has been dramatically reduced. In other words, the police officers are able to go and catch criminals instead of having to do calls for service in this one situation. And by the way, the story I'm giving you, I've been told this story on several other vignettes that happened several months ago. So it's freeing up the officers to handle criminal matters that we're all concerned about. Furthermore, the need for forced, I'm back on script, furthermore, the need for forced hospitalizations for psychiatric treatment has nearly ended. We continue to assist AOT in monitoring this client in the hope that she will not revert back to the chaotic state we found her in prior to her enrollment in the AOT program. AOT is also connecting this client with SB 82 teams from the county with the intent to assist her in finding permanent housing. So, that's a real live story, just happened recently. MET team's actively working with our mentally ill, and we're appreciative of County Mental Health and the Whittier PD, as we in the city of Whittier are one of the few full-time MET teams to be found in Los Angeles County. We have something that a lot of other cities don't, and we're thankful for that. So I've talked too long already. Let me just say a couple things in conclusion. I really appreciate the opportunity to be your mayor. I know that your city council covets your encouragement, your prayer, as we make decisions during a very unique time in Whittier's history, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that. We have ahead of us a breakthrough opportunity for Uptown. I'm convinced of it. We have the development of the blighted Nellis property. which is going to positively impact the west side of Whittier. It's the rising tide. All boats rise with a rising tide, and that's what's going to happen with the Nellis redevelopment. And it's going to have a very positive impact on Uptown. And we got some other things going on. So as far as I'm concerned, I think I mirror the city council on this. It's what we're doing today is, yeah, we're doing the best we can and we're making some inroads, but this is all about the future. It's all about our children. It's all about our grandchildren. It's all about our great-grandchildren. Everyone in here, pretty much, we've made it. We have nice lives. But we want to make sure that gets passed down to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So I'm asking you, as we go through, as we move forward, to come alongside of us. I'm hearing carping, and I'm going off script here. I hear carping in the community, and we understand that. But it's an issue about what is half empty versus half full. And you're going to hear some really cool stuff that's happening. And if you have concerns, come talk to me, come talk to Bob, come talk to Josue, come talk to the staff. We're here to listen to you. But I want you to keep your eyes on the prize, and that is to make this place even better than what it is today and what we've all known. Thank you, and thank you for your support of the Chamber and the City of Whittier.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here again and chat about some of the things that are going on in the community. As Mayor Vinatieri says, yes, there's some great things going on, and it's fun to share a little bit about what's going on. Starting off, here's obviously our City Council, and we really appreciate them. They do a fantastic job with Joe and Kathy as Mayor Pro Tem this year, and Josue and Fernando and Bob. And just, again, we are blessed here with having a fantastic City Council. You just have to pick up the newspaper and you see the challenges that go on in other communities. We have a council that's working together and really trying to move our community forward and doing a fantastic job on that. So let's talk about the agenda this morning. I want to talk a little bit about public investment, and we have a lot of that going on right now. We will have private investment going on, a lot of that going on right now. We need both. We have investments specifically in Uptown that I want to talk about. We have public safety issues, and Joe has talked a little bit about that this morning. We have fiscal issues that we're dealing with, and then we also have opportunities to stay connected, and so we'll chat about that as well. So with that, let's start off with our public investment conversation here. And one of the big things that we're most excited about is our Greenway Trail and extending it all the way to the county line. We have 4.5 miles. We have 4.5 miles completed. We have our new Oak Station that is now opened right at Mills and Lambert, but now we want to make that additional push. And I know that Nancy, who's been working on this project, is pushing hard on this. We have $10 million that we're looking to invest to do this. Bob and Fernando serve as a subcommittee on that, and we're meeting with the public and designing this, and hopefully next year at this time we'll be under construction and making a little dust out there. But great project, we're excited about that. We also have facility improvements on a lot of our public facilities. Community center, gym. If there's anyone that plays sports, basketball or anything, there's nothing worse than playing basketball on a dead wood floor and you have dead spots. And so we'll be replacing our floor in our gym. That'll be a great new facility, again, for sports. The Senior Center has a number of renovations that are needed. Greg's excited about being able to offer an improved facility for our seniors. We have new library computers coming in to serve our many residents that come in and utilize computers in our library. We have our city yard, and if anyone's driven by there, it's got a lot of peeling paint. It doesn't look real great. So we're excited to get in there, clean that up, repaint that, but also to improve our security. We're right up against the Greenway Trail, and we need to also secure people. We get residents that just drive right on in, and that's where our equipment is, and we need to secure that area. It's right next to the fire station there off of Hadley, and so we'll be securing that area as well, and we'll be looking at replacing playground equipment at Lee Owens Park. So again, many good improvements going on. We also have our city improvements on some of our streets. And if you've been out Beverly Boulevard, you've seen the new street lights and medians. Very attractive. They look great. And really proud of our public works staff coordinating that project. We do have new street lights that will be installed here in the next couple months on Washington Boulevard down in front of PIH. Wanted to make sure that area was well lit since they're a 24-hour operation. Also, we have a section on Whittier Boulevard from La Serna down to Santa Gertrudis that is not lit. It's a dark section of Whittier Boulevard. We'll be installing new lights there as well this summer, and there'll be the attractive decorative lights as well there. And Southern California Edison is moving forward with several undergrounding projects of power lines down Colima, below Whittier Boulevard down to Lambert will be going on here in the next year or so, as well as along Broadway on the west end of town, and then at 5 Points intersection. So again, a lot of improvements there. We have street improvements that are going to be going on. A lot of our street reconstruction that needs to be done on the east end of town, mainly this year. Last year we did Santa Fe Springs Road, and we did Workman Mill Road and areas like that. This year we have Santa Gertrudis below the boulevard, Youngwood Drive, and again, Youngwood is being done because Edison replaced the entire electrical system in that area, so the streets are just patched and have been like that for a number of months. It'd be nice to have that redone. And then Mar Vista, east of Colima, is actually quite bad shape. So we'll be repaving, doing that. And nice thing, SB1. Not a lot of us were happy to have to pay more taxes for SB1, but nice thing is that we're going to get another $1.5 million back to invest in our roads. And that's critical because that's going to more than double what we already receive, and it's not sufficient what we've been receiving to stay up with our street maintenance. And so again, very important item that I wanted to share with you. Also, the City Council has been investing in our water and sewer systems. Our water infrastructure replacement program has been moving along very rapidly. If you've been on Beverly Boulevard, you've probably dealt with some of the lane issues. We're relocating and moving the water line out from underneath the big pine trees so the trees don't break the water line again, and so that'll be fantastic having that done. But we have, as you can see, several other water line projects that will be going forward this year. We have our sewer line projects as well, a number of sewers being done in the uptown area. So again, this is tearing up a lot of our alleys and streets, reconstructing, but really a necessary investment because many of these lines are 60 to 80 years old. Traffic mitigation. Who here likes traffic? We got an engineer in the room, I guess. Okay. We're dealing with a lot of traffic issues, and I continue to read on social media that the reason we have traffic is because of all the housing we've approved. But we haven't built that much housing. We've approved housing, but we haven't built it. Where's the traffic coming from? Well, actually, if you look at our traffic counts, most of that traffic is coming and is passing through our city. So in the morning, it's coming from beyond us to the east, coming through our community. Nobody wants to commute to a freeway. They use arterial streets. We have the arterial streets in our community. People are just passing right through. If you go out and look at Colima is another major arterial highway, significant traffic. The other thing, how many people use the Waze app? Okay, it's all your fault too. Literally, if you're at peak commute time and you want to get from Norwalk and you're headed to Pomona, how are they going to tell you to get there? Stay on the 605 to the 60? No. Get off at Florence, Mills, Whittier, Colima, over the hill, right through our community. Those are the things that are happening. We have no control over those kinds of things. Frustrating. But what can we do? We have a number of hotspot projects that will make improvements at key intersections. And so you can see the 4 that are there that we're working on. They will add, in some cases, new right turn lanes, sometimes expanding left turn lanes. So we'll be doing that. The county, we're working with them on Lambert Road for signal synchronization to move traffic and platoons through the area more rapidly, as well as Mills Avenue is getting a signal synchronization. Won't that just add more traffic because it's easier to go faster? Hopefully not, but it's going to improve the flow of traffic in our community, and it's an important item. The Gold Line is another major project we've been working on. Fernando and Josue have been our subcommittee working very effectively. We've had a good message all along that Washington Boulevard is the alignment that needs to go forward. And we're very proud that people are now hearing that and are supporting that, and Metro Board has recently agreed with that. Nice thing is that the Whittier Daily News agreed with that too, and recent editorial came out. So we're very excited to see that we're moving in the right direction. The environmental impact report is now back on track. It'll probably be another 2 years before that is all completed, and that we're back in front of Metro to make a decision to move forward and prioritize. Do want to give a shout out to Janice Hahn for actually making the motion to move forward and to see if we can accelerate this project. It definitely warrants that, and so we're very proud of that. Other projects that we're very proud of is our Kaboom project, and again, it's all about partners. And here we were able to work with Kaboom, brought in CarMax, our community foundation, and Whittier Host Lions, and many others in the community. We want to say thank you. This is a great improvement to Guardo Park in updating and sprucing up this playground for the west end of the city. Also, the City Council's been talking about our central library. Again, we have a fantastic library. It's been there for many years, 1959. I'm just a little older than the library, but just a matter of months. But the mezzanine was added in 1978, and that was kind of our last major expansion back in 1978. So we're talking 39, 40 years ago. We have over 600,000 visits, and our collection has increased by over 187% since it was built. So we have aging electrical systems and poor lighting, and again, it's a crowded facility for the population we have today, and our population continues to increase. We have a proposal that will actually add about 23% to the floor space in the library. It will be a complete remodel, updating all of the vital systems in the building. It also adds parking as a part of this, because we don't have adequate parking in the Civic Center, and that needs to be done, especially if you go over there right now. Summer reading program is going on, and they are packed out, so we really have parking issues there, but that's a good thing. It's a $25 million project, and so City Council will be discussing this at their next meeting. Again, it's a difficult issue. It's a lot of money. Can we afford to do this? Do the residents want to support this? That'll be the question that we'll be asking everyone. Other great news we were really happy to see is the reopening of our courthouse. It's been closed for 4 years. Very appreciative to Ian Calderon for his doggedness to stay on top of this and stay and push this particular issue to get this court reopened. It will actually transfer the Family Law Center from Norwalk Court up to our Whittier Court, and we're looking forward to seeing this reopen in January. So again, nice to have that facility back open and operating again too. Let's talk a little bit about private investment. This is really what's important in our community. It's one thing, we can do certain things as a city, but it's really private investment that moves our community forward. And we have a number of residential projects that are moving forward. The Guilford Court project right over here across the street at the corner of Penn and Comstock is moving forward. They're just about finished with the project. This included the relocation of the Guilford Hall building from the campus at Whittier College. And that was a fun evening when we were out there and watched them drive this house down the street and relocated to the site. They added 9 additional units. It's for a total of 11 units, and this project is just about done. Very nice project. We also have the Amesbury project right down the street on Mar Vista. D.R. Horton, the nation's largest builder, built this, 55 units. They're working on the last building now and moving along very nicely. They're selling quite well. We also have D.R. Horton built the Heights at Beverly townhomes, 40 units. Those are the 2 pictures on the left side of the screen. And again, they're completing those units as we speak. On the right-hand side, you have the Whittier Catalina apartments. They actually got hit really hard in the rains this last year. They ended up getting mold in the building, and that's why they stopped for quite a while to deal with the mold issues inside. They are now moving along very rapidly. You see that the lath is going up on the exterior of the building. They're wrapping that, and they are looking to be done by the end of the calendar year and open. So we're excited about that. And then the Park Place luxury apartments, that is on the former Toyota used car lot. Foundations are under construction right now, so you'll see that they're out there working on that project as well. We have 2 additional approved residential projects that have not started construction yet. One is the Cambridge Place townhomes. Again, this is at Hadley and Magnolia. Hopefully that'll be moving forward here shortly, as well as the former ICC site up at Workman Mill Road. And that'll be another 32 units. And again, you see most of these are ownership, townhome ownership units, not rentals. We do have a few rentals, but most of them are ownership units. Those that are rentals actually are some of our first significant apartment buildings built in over 30 to 40 years. And in this case, they're built with adequate parking as opposed to the old ones in the past. And they have amenities with secured parking and other amenities in the project. So again, providing our millennials and next generation with opportunities for housing to get started here in Whittier, and that's an important point I wanted to make. We also have the 5 Points Car Wash site, and we've been working with a developer there. They are looking to buy that site, renovate and preserve the car wash, keep it operational, and then build 60 luxury units in a gated community behind the car wash up against the Greenway Trail. And so that has just started. The architectural plans have come in, and we're just starting that review process now. Also, the mayor spoke about the Lincoln specific plan for the Nellis site. Again, we're optimistic that this project will get going here hopefully in the next year. Again, great opportunity to make a huge difference in our community. Not only will it start transforming the west end of town by, again, the rising tide concept, but we'll also have a lot of money to invest in different things. This project will generate nearly $1 million in traffic mitigation to allow us to invest in improvements at many of our roadways in this area, including Whittier Boulevard, especially at Whittier and Norwalk, where we need to make some improvements at that very congested and busy intersection. Some of our other new commercial projects include the Popeyes and Pyology on Washington Boulevard. We also have Chick-fil-A under construction. They'll be a great addition to our community. They are moving at breakneck pace. We had these plans up, then the next thing we know, boom, there's the building. They will be open August 17th. Whitwood has got a lot of things going on right now. We're excited, obviously, to see businesses like Old Navy investing there. We also are working with a potential buyer for the entire Whitwood site. Kimco Properties is right now in escrow. Kimco is a major shopping center operator across the nation, great operator. We have conversations going on We're aware of the situations with Sears and JCPenney's and other major retailers are struggling nationwide, closing. We would anticipate that folks like Sears may not be around in a few years. And so City Council has been talking about, what do we do? What is our plan for that? We're working with Kimco to talk to them about their vision for that site. How will it evolve and transform? There's a great article in the LA Times here the other day that talked about the evolution of shopping centers in light of the realities that are going on with retailing. I'm guilty of going out there in e-commerce too, but we need to be supporting our brick and mortar retailers. But we know that some of them won't be around. What are we going to do? How do we plan for that? And so we're excited to work with Kimco and their vision for what can happen at the Whitwood site, because that is a vital location in our community for our retailers. We also have the preservation of the old bowling alley site with the Bevmo and Aldi. Again, the historic preservation project that turned out very well from a retailing standpoint. Also, Friendly Hills Marketplace, great location, another one of our former auto dealerships that has transformed and has new life with some great retailers in the site. We're excited to see some of the smaller tenants open here in the coming days. But again, all of our former auto dealerships that closed, and we lost 7 auto dealerships here in this last decade, they are all rebuilt now. None of them are vacant. Also, we have folks that are proposing other improvements, the Silver Palace building and then the former bank building next door. And you see the little bump out there on the right-hand side. That was actually the bank vault that is still there. Well, we have a developer, the owner of the building, that wants to take that vault down and renovate the entire building, and this is his vision. Now, it isn't approved yet, starting to go through the process, but again, more private investment, people wanting to invest and improve their properties. Whittier Crossing, again, another great property. Developers done a fantastic job of bringing nice architecture and great tenants into the center. We had Applebee's all lined up, ready to go, and we started wondering, well, what happened? Applebee's pulled out. Who's going to go there? Well, that's a good question. Let's see, who's going to go there? They're bringing, they've signed a lease with Grub Burger Bar. And folks, if you're not familiar with Grub Burger Bar, they're fantastic. Okay, you know them? They're in Florida, Georgia, Texas, Louisiana. Uh-oh. I won't say it. Kurt, I got your back on this one. But again, they're new to California. There is one location in San Diego. I think they'll be a fantastic new addition to our restaurant formats that are here in Whittier. And so we're excited to see them come in to Whittier. We also have other employers here. We have Indio Products that they make candles. But they don't make candles on a small scale. They make candles on a massive scale. They're adding 200 to 300 jobs. They're in the building right down just to the east of York Field. So again, fantastic to have major employer coming in. They relocated from the City of Commerce over here. We also have a partnership between Keck Medicine of USC and PIH. Again, we're so appreciative of PIH and all that they do for our community and the jobs that they provide. Over 5,000 jobs. They do a fantastic job from that perspective. They've acquired additional land. The former ROP building is one of their buildings that they have acquired. That building will be demolished here in the next several weeks. And so that building will be gone and will make way for parking and ultimately future development and expansion of their facilities. So we're very excited to see that move forward as well. Talking about investment in Uptown. Uptown, we have some great opportunities to move forward. We're very proud of the investment that we've seen from private entrepreneurs coming in here. Grace Hugh came in here and bought this building and this whole property and has infused significant money, and it's again now relabeled now, and it's now DoubleTree. Love the chocolate chip cookies. Love, love, love. But you see some of the other investment that's gone on, other retailers. We're just really appreciative of folks that are willing to come in here and invest. We also have our other major community partner, Whittier College, and this last year they completed the renovation and improvements to the Science Learning Center. And again, what a fantastic facility this is on their campus. And so they dedicated that back in September. But again, another major community partner for Uptown. The city is looking at investments of $12 million from our former redevelopment agency, looking at streetscape improvements, water and sewer infrastructure upgrades. And if you were on Comstock, you know that we have upgraded and completed the replacement and upsizing of the water line in Comstock. Again, that provides for future development, provides for adequate fire protection in Uptown. You know, these are all vital things as we continue to move Uptown forward. We're working on a new parking structure on Comstock, as well as you'll see us out to bid here, I think next month, Dave, for the parking lots. There's 3 parking lots north of Bailey, and those will be all reconstructed, new trash facilities and so forth included as a part of that. So again, that's actually above and beyond. That's about another $1 million above the $12 million. So we're actually about $13 million in investment in Uptown that's coming and it's on its way. We're also very involved working with the property owners in Uptown, and this is again a concept that comes out of the Uptown specific plan, calling for formation of a property owner-based district to manage the affairs in Uptown. So we're working to form community benefit district in Uptown. Connell's been working real hard with property owners, and I appreciate the property owners that have been willing to have this discussion and talk about partnerships in moving Uptown forward. Opportunities to basically assess, all of us assessing ourselves and then investing that and having the voice in how that money is spent for maintaining the Uptown area with enhanced sidewalk and gutter sweeping, steam cleaning of our streets, additional tree trimming, potential for private security, district identity and branding, as well as the potential for valet parking services. So these are all important items as we look to move Uptown forward. We have the investments of private property owners and entrepreneurs coming in, investments from the city, and partnership between city and property owners to move Uptown forward. I'm very excited about the future for Uptown. The ballots for the district formation will be counted here on July 25th, and so we'll see where we end up on that, but I'm optimistic and appreciate the Uptown property owners working with us. Public safety, again, this is probably one of the items that is most on our minds and on our hearts after this last year. We look at some of the crime facts that are out there, and they're very sobering. Property crime, California, across the state, is up 145%. We have violent crime up 54%. 1 in 4 Californians view violence and street crime as a substantial problem. This is affecting everybody. Arrests have dropped 31% for property crimes and 68% for drug offenses. And again, this is linked directly to Prop 47, for which all of us voters are guilty on that one. Concludes that auto theft increase is a direct result of AB 109. Very significant numbers when we look at this and see that crime is going up across the board throughout our state. So how has Whittier and our city council responded? Well, we have the resolutions that the city council has adopted. The first one was to actually support Ian Calderon's AB 1408 bill. And again, very important item. Joe spoke about that earlier, and you can get the information back there. Very important item because we have concerns with parole and probation, and I believe the governor's new budget is putting forth the proposal that will actually release over 4,400 additional inmates that are currently in custody. So we're going to have more folks on the street. We also have made a number of recommendations based upon talking with Deputy District Attorney Association and various police associations about what additional regulations could be put back in place that will actually deal with the unintended negative consequences of existing criminal law. And so we have a number of recommendations. We're talking with many other cities. I'll be talking with the City Manager Steering Committee from the Gateway COGS at noon today about these very issues. We're working with cities in the San Gabriel Valley. The cities of Glendora, Monrovia, and Arcadia are very much in support and working actively on this issue. But we need grassroots support from you, the community. This is an important item. We also have some new resources that we're very proud of. Our analog radio system needs to be replaced. Changes in FCC regulations require we go to digital, which is great. It'll be a higher quality system. The only problem is it's about a $2 million cost, actually over $2 million to transition all of our radios. And so we are moving forward with that this year, and that will be a major investment for the city. We also have funding in the budget that the City Council we look to approve here at their next meeting to create a problem-oriented policing team, 2-member team that will be focused on solving particular issues, not just dealing with the consequences of a particular crime, but solving the consequences tied to that issue. Very excited about them as well. You also see we have 2 new canine units. We retired Prince, and he's now living and enjoying a retirement life. But now we have 2 new handlers, including a female handler, and there they are in this picture with their new dogs. They're going through training and will be, a couple months of training? About 6 weeks of training, and they'll be out working in the community, but very excited to have them and appreciate partnerships that have helped make that happen. Also, little things that I love is that we're actually funding some GPS trackers to put inside of boxes to put on people's front porch. And if the tracker starts showing that it's moving, then somebody has probably stolen that, and we can track them down and find them and arrest them. So going high tech. Responding to the homeless issue. A number of folks are saying, gee, why doesn't the city do something? Well, we have been. This is 7 months worth of data to give you an idea as to what we've been doing. We've responded to over 450 locations. We've recovered over 770 shopping carts that were out illegally, taken off properties. We're cleaning up encampments. 639 truckloads of debris picked up. Number of citations issued, but again, this is a monumental issue. We're all living with this. Very frustrating, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the magnitude of the issue of what we're feeling and dealing with. Our mental health evaluation team has been a great addition, partnering a mental health clinician with one of our specially trained officers. They do a fantastic job. They've responded in the last 7 months, since October, to over 730 calls for service, nearly 300 psychological evaluations, and they've had 84 individuals placed in mental health hold. Again, it's a significant problem, and this is just Whittier. Just Whittier. This is, you look at our region, and this issue is across our region, but they do a fantastic job and really appreciate them. Back to the third prong now that the mayor was speaking about, how can you help? Obviously, neighborhood watch, business watch are all important. Personal actions such as locking your car, keeping your valuable possessions not stored in your car or at least out of sight, making sure that your home is secure. Get out there and get on nextdoor.com and some of the other social media sites. Yeah, there's a lot of junk on nextdoor.com. a lot of whining, a lot of stuff like that they're reporting to the people on social media that hopefully they've called the police, but it doesn't appear that they have. So, but it's still good to know if there's somebody in the neighborhood. I'd encourage you to also do little things. How many have one of those little video ring doorbells? Yeah, those things are great. You can sit here and someone rings your doorbell and I can talk to the person right there on my phone. Blew my granddaughter away when she walked up to the door one day and I started talking to her from my office. She couldn't figure out where Grandpa was, but again, it's an additional layer of security and allows you to better monitor your home. And so we'd ask you to do that. And again, if you see something, say something, make that call. It's important. Moving on, talking a little bit about fiscal health. Fiscal health is important right now. We're dealing with some good news and some challenging news. As you can see, look, this is just our 4 key general fund revenue sources. So we're talking property taxes, sales tax, franchise fees. It's actually 5. Utility taxes and transient occupancy taxes, and or hotel tax. So looking at those, you can see we have a good upward trend going here, and we're excited to see the economy continues to get stronger here in Whittier. Looking at our budget, this is the budget that the City Council will be looking at here in 2 weeks. They will be making action to approve this. You see the overall budget is a little over $120 million in expenditures. Our expenditures do exceed our revenues because we've been saving up money for projects like the Greenway Trail and things like that. So we have the money in hand, been sitting there ready to go forward with these projects. But beyond that, we do have a balanced budget, and so we're in good fiscal shape from that standpoint. Overall, our general revenues are going well. We've also looked at our investment policy, and Bob was a big proponent on this, but the entire City Council stepped up on this, and we've actually contracted with a private firm to manage our investments, and they've done a fantastic job. I think the first year we were up nearly $500,000 was their performance. Catherine, right around there, $400,000 or $500,000 increase in revenue increase from interest income and so forth. We anticipate another $351,000 for the coming fiscal year. And again, this is just adjusting our portfolio days to maturity and approving our investment types. We're still very, very conservative in the way that we manage. We're required to by law, but we continue to be. But these minor changes have actually improved our interest income. Beyond all of that, that's great news, but I'm still telling the City Council that this is the calm before the storm, because in the next several years we have some significant changes coming. The future is difficult at best. We know that the President right now is talking about eliminating our Community Development Block Grant Program. That's $700,000 a year. It funds 2 of our code enforcement officers, our graffiti removal program, home improvement program for low and moderate income residents. So we have a number of programs that would be at risk that we would lose if that program were to go away, or could potentially be substantially reduced in the revenue that we receive. That would be a real concern to us. Also, our PERS retirement contributions are dramatically increasing. The state PERS board, how do I say it delicately? They didn't do a good job of managing the program here a number of years ago, and now have put us into a position that they're having to reduce their expectation on investment returns. Whittier currently contributes about $6 million a year into retirement. That number is going to more than double over the next 5-6 years. And again, that's a huge hit to our budget. Absorbing another $6 million a year into our budget is going going to be a monumental task to deal with. As you can see in the very bottom there, in fiscal year 18-19, we'll be hit for another $1.2 million, but you can see how quickly it starts ratcheting up, $2.5 million the next year, and then the next year over $4 million. So it just keeps ratcheting up. And this is going to be very hard for cities throughout the nation. Actually, our employees contribute 12% towards their retirement. You don't have other cities that are contributing like that. They're paying the employee share and a portion of the employer's share. And you don't see that happening in other cities. We do it here in Whittier, and we still have this challenge. Other cities have a much bigger road to hoe. And so just want to make you aware that it is the calm before the storm. We have great things going on, but this is going to be a challenge. So what else do we have on the horizon for this coming fiscal year? I'm excited. I'm a city planner by training. We're going to rewrite our general plan. Hasn't been done since 1993. How old were you then, Bob? You were a young man then. But again, we're going to start off with a vision document. We'll move into rewriting the general plan. We'll talk about climate action planning issues that are now needing to be a part of a general plan. We've been up to date on all of our housing element requirements and things like that, but to now actually have a chance to talk about what is the overall vision for our community and how are we going to accomplish that. This is a great opportunity for you to be a part of that. All of our residents and our business community need to speak into this process, and there'll be opportunities to do that, and encourage you to be a part of this Envision Whittier process, because we're looking down the road 15, 20 years. What do we want to see in Whittier? We have our uptown projects that I spoke about. We have our solid waste collection contracts or franchise agreements that we're looking to have in place here in the next several months. Our capital improvement program, it's our streets, our water and sewer projects, our park projects, a lot of these moving forward. We have the construction of the Greenway Trail extension coming forward. We have a new permit system. For those of you who want a building permit, you have to go in and fill out a form in triplicate and go through that whole process. That's an antiquated system the way we have it right now. We're going to have an electronic system. You'll be able to sit there in your jammies at midnight if you wanted and log in online and apply for your building permit if you wanted to. So we'll have our inspectors will have handheld devices that they'll use, and they'll be able to print out inspection correction lists right there real time at the site. So great technology, and that'll be implemented and probably up and going by October, November is our hope. And then we also have discussion on the central library, and we'll see where that goes. But again, we have a full plate of projects going on, some great things here in Whittier. We're also always obviously looking back at what we can celebrate, and we continue to celebrate our accomplishments. You'll see September 8th is Whittier Day at the LA County Fair. Come on out, encourage you to be a part of that. There'll be a parade, and that's a fun date. Again, we value trees here in Whittier. We are, for the 33rd year in a row, designated as a Tree City USA community. We've been a Playful City USA community for the last 5 years. The ILG Beacon Award, that is actually for our energy conservation project that we completed. We've changed out over 1,600 street lights and many other projects. And again, we were recognized for a gold level in one category and silver level in another for energy conservation here in Whittier. And then we continue to be recognized for our budgeting excellence. And again, not a sexy thing, but it has to do with transparency and doing the right thing. You want to connect with Whittier? You can connect. Pick a mode to connect. In social media, you can contact us with our phone app, download the Whittier 24/7 app, and you can communicate with us that way. But we have plenty of opportunities to communicate if you'd like. We have some fun things in store this summer. Whittier Walk and Roll. This is basically a cyclovia type of event where you can come out. We're going to have the streets all closed off. You want to rollerblade, you want to run, walk, ride a bike. Streets are going to be closed in Uptown. Come on out and enjoy that. Be a fun time, some great activities. Also, 4th of July, fireworks are back this year. And exciting time. So come on out to York Field. We'll have music and all kinds of entertainment, exciting things going on. There might be a few surprises. We'll see what kind of surprises we have. And with that, I just want to say thank you very much. I want to say thank you, first off, to the folks right up here. What I do, I don't do, they do. This is our city staff. Would you stand real quick? Would you recognize these folks? They work hard. They do a great job, and I so appreciate them. They're the support that allows me to do what I do and support the City Council. They do a fantastic job. I want to say thank you to the Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate you and the opportunity to be partners here in the community. So with that, say thank you.